Supporting learners in transition. I'm talking today to Phill Bevan, a National Advisor in the vet sector. With many training packages being streamlined and updated at present, RTOs are regularly managing learners' transition. Can you provide an overview of this process?
Learner transition continues to be a large challenge for RTOs as courses change. Learners are entitled to graduate with a qualification that most closely represents the current skill needs of industry. A qualification being superseded or discontinued is a clear indication that industry needs have changed to the extent that the previous qualification is no longer suitable. To best meet the needs of RTOs and of industry, RTOs should transfer learners from superseded qualifications into the replacement qualifications as soon as possible. Firstly though, let's talk about a couple of terms. Training products are regularly superseded. A training product refers to a qualification, skill set or unit of competency. Superseded refers to when a new release of the training product is approved and becomes available. Often the sector talks about teach-out arrangements. Teach-out is a term used in previous ASQA guidance to describe the time frame after a training product has been superseded, removed or deleted from the National Register from training.gov.au. This teach-out period is the time frame in which a learner's training, assessment and certification documentation must be completed. While this term of teach-out has been used by ASQA in the past, it is not mentioned in the current standards for RTOs 2015. Transition period is the new terminology used. The transition period is the allowable time frame within which the learner's training, assessment and certification documentation must be completed, or, in the case of a superseded training product, within which the learner is transitioned into the replacement training product.
So what is this transition period?
That's a good question, as there is some confusion in the sector in my experience. For any learner enrolled in their course before the 1st of April 2015, that is the date the standards for RTOs came into force for existing RTOs, there is a different arrangement than for learners enrolled since the 1st of April 2015. For learners enrolled before the 1st of April 2015 in a training product which is or becomes superseded, removed or deleted from the National Register, ASQA has approved that the teach-out provisions detailed in the General Direction Transition and Teach-Out, dated 1st of January 2014, may be applied. This means that the general direction that existed prior to the standards for RTOs 2015 being released is still active for learners that were enrolled before the 1st of April 2015. This existing 2014 general direction allows RTOs to extend the teach-out period indefinitely to complete the training, assessment and certification documentation to a learner without ASQA's approval, where the learner would be genuinely disadvantaged should the RTO adhere to the teach-out periods. This of course requires an RTO to confirm and justify what the genuine disadvantage to the learner may be, which might include additional fees, additional or significantly amended units to be completed, or impact on a learner's traineeship or apprenticeship arrangement. In summary, for learners enrolled prior to the 1st of April 2015, RTOs may continue and complete the course they're enrolled in under teach-out arrangements without requiring transition to the new course.
What about learners enrolled on or after the 1st of April 2015?
All of these learners enrolled on or after 1st of April 2015 have the transition requirements under the standards for RTOs 2015 applied. In these cases, and moving forward under the new standards, RTOs may not continue to train, assess or issue certification documentation for learners enrolled on or after 1st of April 2015, except for within a period of 1 year from the date of the replacement training product being released on the National Register. So effectively, these learners must complete, withdraw from, or transfer their enrolment to the new course within 12 months of the original course being superseded. In cases where a qualification is no longer current and has not been superseded, this means there's no release of the new qualification, all learners' training and assessment is completed and the certification documentation issued within a period of 2 years from the date of qualification being removed or deleted from the National Register. This most often occurs with accredited courses, where the curriculum owner decides not to renew the course accreditation. This additional time period of 2 years allows appropriate time for students to ensure they complete their courses if desired, as there is no replacement to transfer to.
How do RTOs manage this process most effectively?
RTOs do need to be mindful, firstly, of their scope of registration as training products change. Where an updated course is considered by the training package developers to be equivalent to the superseded course, the RTO's scope of registration is generally automatically updated by ASQA to include the replacement course. This scope update happens immediately after the training package release is endorsed. In cases where the course is not considered equivalent to the earlier version, RTOs need to apply to their relevant regulator for the replacement to be added to their scope of registration and have this application approved. While this process sounds fairly straightforward, it does have pitfalls for RTOs. Under Standard 1 of the Standards for RTOs 2015, RTOs must, at all times, have all resources available to deliver every training product on the RTO scope of registration, whether they are currently delivering it or not. These resources must comply with any specific requirements in the training package or accredited course. RTOs must also develop a strategy or strategies for each training product they are registered to deliver in the format they choose. So I do see the situation fairly regularly where updated training products are added to the RTO scope of registration automatically before the RTO has had a chance to ensure that they do have the required strategies and resources in place to support these updated courses. RTOs must provide learners with access to necessary resources either by owning, leasing or renting these resources, or by arranging for resources to be accessible to the learners in another way. Training packages specify resources that must be used in learning and assessment at a unit of competency level. RTOs must ensure learners have access to the resources that will give them the best chance of completing their study, regardless of whether the updated training product is equivalent and automatically updated to the RTO scope, or not equivalent and requiring an extension of scope application. Ultimately, all of this means that RTOs need to move very quickly as training products are superseded to confirm new strategies, resources and other needs to support learners in the updated courses. And it also has implications for resource publishers of courses who are working to support RTOs with these high-quality resources for new courses just released.
And what about learners who are still studying the superseded courses? How are they best supported?
Learners who will complete their study and be issued with a qualification or statement of attainment within the 1-year transition period do not need to be transferred to the updated course. For students that will not complete their course within the transition period, they will be withdrawn from their current course with any appropriate statement of attainment issued, and then might re-enrol and continue in the new updated course. RTO should inform learners in a timely manner once a course is superseded, so that students are aware of this change and can make informed decisions about the stage of their enrolment and study, and whether they can complete their current course or need to transition to the new course.
So in summarising, the support for learners in transition, RTOs need to keep close track of the training products they offer, act quickly when courses are superseded to develop strategies, amend resources and plan for transition, and ensure that learners are supported to complete their course or this transition within the required timelines, depending on each learner's specific situation.